Hey guys, it's Delaney, and welcome to my poorly lit garage. So this video is exactly what the title says, being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and being told you only have 6 months to live. Sorry if you feel clickbaited, but this story is about my mom, not me. So my mom is only 51 years old, and she started to feel like really sick while she was on vacation from work. Her stomach hurt, she couldn't keep anything down, she was throwing up, she just felt very sick. So she went to the ER and they didn't know like what was wrong with her or anything. And they referred her to a gynecologist here where we live, and she went there for like a pap smear and everything came back like okay, but like there's a little abnormal blood levels for ovarian cancer. So being the shitty city that I live in, they don't do anything here, and if they do, they probably fuck it up. So they referred her away to go to London so they could check her out there because they're like the big cancer capital of all of Canada. So she went to London and the doctor there said, yeah, it looks like you have cancer, but it doesn't normally start in the front, it normally starts in the back. So that doctor referred her to another doctor that was also at London for a colonoscopy. So the doctor that the gynecologist referred her to for her colonoscopy was on vacation for 3 weeks. So we said, can't we get one done where we live? And they said, oh no, you have to get it done in London, blah, blah, blah. So my mom is sitting here with cancer, waiting for another 3 weeks just to get a colonoscopy to see if there is more cancer. Now you're supposed to get your colonoscopy when you're 50, but my mom never got it because she didn't want to and whatever personal reasons. So she never got it. This is her first one ever. So she's getting the colonoscopy done and her IV is plugged. So none of the drugs are going into her. She's not knocked out. She is wide awake during this colonoscopy, throwing up while there's a scope down her throat, and like no one can help her. No one will help her. She's screaming, help me, but you can't hear what she's saying because she's throwing up and there's, yeah. London is about 2 to 3 hours away from where we live, and we've been going up there about 3 times. And we have to go up to get the results because they won't give them over the phone. So we drive all the way up to London. I'm with her. It was just me and my mom. And we're sitting in this guy's waiting room. And this guy's kind of a dick. Like, we don't like the doctor. He was just very rude. No bedside manner. So we're sitting in his waiting room just hoping like, oh, it's nothing. Or if it is something, it's something that they can treat. No. He looks at us with like no emotion. And he's just like, you have stage 4 rectal cancer. And I thought there was 5 stages, so I'm like, oh, okay, well that's okay, there's one more stage. And he's like, no, stage 4 is the highest. So I start bawling my eyes out. I'm like crying everywhere. I'm trying not to let my mom see that I'm crying. She's right next to me, so I'm just kind of like going like this, but like it was everywhere. And the doctor hands me a box of tissues, and my mom's like, I'm not crying. And he's like, it's for your daughter. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, everyone knows I'm crying. Like, okay. Like, let's make her cry now because I'm crying. Like, that's a great plan. So he draws us a diagram on a napkin of a colon and where her tumor is. And it's like this big. The napkin is like this big. And he drew a picture of her tumor that's like this big. And I was like, oh my God, like, I can't soak any of this in. Like, this is all news to me. I don't even remember half the things that he said. Anyway. The part that came next that my mom asked was, how do we treat it? You know, what's the survival rate for this and everything? And he says, oh, you'll be dead in 6 months. And she's like, what the fuck? Like, how do you just say that to someone so, like, emotionlessly? And she's like, well, can I do chemo or radiation or something to fight it? And he's like, well, you could. So he doesn't want her to do anything to even try. And she's like, yeah, I will take the chemo, please. And so she's been getting chemo here where we live. And a normal chemo lasts 12 weeks. And she's had it for 14 weeks. The scan showed like significant shrinkage at the 12-week mark. And now at the 14-week mark, they've showed like nothing. Like the tumor's just staying the same. So like that's really scary. And we think that, well, like we don't know if it's gonna grow from here, and the doctor said the next step is surgery if she's eligible, and that surgery is in Toronto, 6 hours away, which is fine. I mean, it's worth it. Like, this is her life. So me and my mom drive up to Toronto, and the doctor there had none of her records from London, because London doesn't like to send any of their records anywhere when you request them like 7 times. So they had none of her records. Thank God my mom brought like this little disc from the hospital here, because if she didn't bring that, they would have had nothing. So we had to sit there and wait for them to review that little disc for 2 hours. We finally get in there and they tell us about a surgery that they can do, but they need her to do a MRI of pelvis, yeah, an MRI of her pelvis, just to see like where all the cancer is and if they could cut it all out, because they're not going to do the surgery if they think that they can't cut it all out, because it would just be putting her through stress and not really benefiting her in any way. So that's where we are right now. She has an MRI appointment in a week, and 2 weeks from then we get to find out if she can have the surgery, and if not, the doctors just need to make a new plan. I love my mother more than like anything in this world, so yeah, hearing that just is really scary. I want to share her story in case anyone else is going through this and they're afraid, because I'm afraid too. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen if she can't have the surgery, and that's where we're at right now. And after her MRI, me and my sister have planned a whole Las Vegas trip for her, and I might upload a vlog about it, I might not, but yeah, to get her mind off of everything, because we've all worked hard. Like, me and my sister have been caregivers, taking her to all her appointments, taking care of her, and I'm not complaining. Like, that's totally something that we wanted to do. Like, we could have hired someone, but like, that's our mom, so we want to take care of her. And so we're really looking forward to the trip. And yeah, I hope you liked my story time in my dark, badly lit, weird garage. So subscribe if you want to, and all my social medias are listed down below if you want to follow us on this very terrifying, awful cancer journey.